in this war zone. Take your brother and your sister,
he signed the proclamation that we have. He's the reason why we have the legal right to celebrate this day here in the city of Los Angeles. It was back in 2003. And we've been trying to get in touch with him all these years to invite him, but because of his schedule, he never could make it, but we finally have him. And I can't believe my eyes right now. I'm so thrilled and so happy to. Good evening. How's everybody doing? I just wanted to come out and just spend some time and say welcome to the 8th District. This is the heart of the 8th District. We feel as though Leimert Park is really the cultural center of the African American and African community. And we're so pleased that you chose to have your event here today. It was a pleasure for myself and for Jan Perry to move forward on a city resolution to ensure that this day, which is a sacred day, was being acknowledged. And I just wanted to let you know that although we believe often that we come from so many different places and we have so many different cultures, we all go through the same repression where someone decides that someone's freedom of speech isn't as important as their freedom of speech. And just as you honor this day, the young man that you're thinking about is a person that really, through his writings and teachings, people were trying to suppress them. They did not want, because people followed that lead, to have a situation in which he was becoming more powerful than those that were in power. We see that throughout our history. When you think about people like Martin Luther King in this country, 39 years old, did not have really the mantle of power, did not have an office, was never elected, was not in charge of a process or a job or a commitment, but basically had a theme and said we should be peace-loving people, we should not go to war, and because of his ability to be an orator, started a process in which changed the world, talking about peace and what we should be doing with our lives. And I think that's something that we find that so many people who are just kind of everyday people do great things when they're called upon. And unfortunately, there are those who believe that because they are making an impact, that they are speaking a word in which there are people that understand and that are willing to listen and follow, that it threatens those that are in power because they believe because they have the mantle of power or a position, that someone without a position should not have that level of credibility. We see it throughout our lives, whether it was Malcolm X, or we saw in the sense of, as I mentioned, Martin Luther King. We see it, we hope, as we go forward on November 4th and give a young man, Barack Obama, a chance to not only have the ability to lead without a mantle, but also to take on the most powerful position in the world. A person that, through his youth and exuberance and his brilliance, has a chance to change the world as we know it. And we can just imagine that what will happen on November 5th when we all wake up and there's a new president-elect. The entire world will change as its perspective to people of color. That many people do not realize that the most of the world are people of color. The belief is that because we see in the photographs of countries that are generally depicted as being Caucasian, they don't realize that people of color rule most of the world. But yet this country, which is viewed the most powerful, has never had a person of color to lead it. We all have an opportunity to do our part. And I hope that each and every one of us that is eligible, each and every one of us that has that ability, is registered to vote, is willing to vote, and that will show up on November the 4th and vote. Because we don't want to look up on November the 5th and say, I just didn't get around to it. And all he needed was a handful of votes, and he could have been the next president of the United States. We've seen through many of our lives that what could have been did not happen. The only thing that we can be assured of is what we put our energies and efforts into to ensure that that becomes a reality that then opens up this world to a different sense of what we can do. We then broke down the last concrete ceiling to where now everyone can say there is absolutely nothing we can't do. There's not a position, there's not a job, there's not a thought, there's not a vision that we can't have when you see a young man move through and with all the obstacles. He was too young, he was too black, didn't have enough experience, and in some instances he said he wasn't black enough. But the issue is, he's gone through all of that, and now will represent the Democratic Party, and as things are going forward, we can probably live a dream that many of us thought would never occur. When I was growing up, you never heard the word black or African American or African in the same sentence as president. Barack Obama will change all that for us for the good. And I think it's something that sends that message to a variety of folks that say it couldn't have happened, it wouldn't happen. And there's still those who will have a life dream to say they're going to try to cause it not to happen. We can have our destiny in our hands if we choose to work towards that. I wanted to, in addition to the City Council, acknowledging this as a sacred day, also wanted to bring the congratulations to this community, the synagogue community, and just say, you know, what we find in this city, which is a very big strength, is that we have the second largest group of every ethnicity and every culture in the city of Los Angeles other than their home country. We have over 120 some odd languages spoken in the city of LA. To some people that's threatening. To many people that understand it, it is the strength of the city to have that level of diversity. I certainly welcome you here. I would hope that as you assimilate and go through your careers and your school and whatever, that you feel as comfortable here as you do in your home country. And this is something that we all have a right to do. We do not have to give up our history in order to be part of America. Many people talk about a melting pot. I don't believe in the issue of melting pot because I don't think you have to give up your history to be part of something else. Your history is what distinguishes you. Your history is what sets you apart from others. But you can be part of the greater American dream and still clearly understand from where you came. And so I wanted to bring a certificate in behalf of the Los Angeles City Council and congratulations on this very sacred day and say congratulations. Thank you for having this event. Thank you for being in the district. And thank you